So now to the advice section. Rabbit asks and says, "Hey Yamato, I wanted to ask for an advice on self-improvement. I've lately struggled to get into new hobbies and stuff due to me being afraid of failure. An example being me trying to get into writing, and as soon as I have an idea for a story down, I write a paragraph and stop there because I feel like it's not good enough. I rewrite it 5 times and then give up. This repeats with almost anything, be it painting, music like piano and guitar and so on. I just feel like everyone is watching, and as soon as I fail, that everyone thinks I am an idiot. Basically, I dream of trying something out and in the end don't even try it. Any advice?" Now, these are the moments where I wish we would do these questions live. Because I would like to get to know you more, in order to give you advice. It's difficult because in society, the only thing that is getting shown off, with Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TV, most of the time we just see the perfect, right? Just see the perfect. When you see a picture on Instagram, you don't see how many takes of pictures or how many ugly pictures there are, or with the filters and so forth. You just see the final product, right? You don't see the build up, the process of getting to that point. And starting at a different point can be, starting at the bottom it's very, very intimidating. But something that brings me peace is knowing that everyone does. Everyone starts at the same point, in some sense or form. Of course, there are certain things in our environment and how we grew up and certain elements that give more opportunities. We don't have equal opportunities all over the world, that's for sure. Just knowing that, as you try and you fail, you're actively getting better. Failure sounds so negative. Losing sounds so negative. But the path is always the thing that is the most rewarding. Getting to that point of perfection, whether it's music or it's making sure you have that perfect picture, or, mastering something, the path looks different for most of us, but in that path, in most cases, there is a lot of ugly for everyone. I can tell you the story of how I got into League of Legends. So I have a very obsessive personality. Very obsessive. If I latch onto something, I want to figure it out. I want to min-max it. I want to beat it to the ground. And League of Legends was a game that I was very bad at in the beginning. Terrible. I was very bad at the game. And more importantly, I was very bad at a specific champion called Shaco. Every failure that I did with me putting up the boxes back then, putting the boxes, it was a science, man. It was very, very difficult. Not difficult, but it was tricky for a beginner to figure out how to use the boxes in the first clear. You start with cloth armor and so forth. You did a lot of like silly shit. And I was inting it. Inting it very, very much. But in every int, in every int, there is a lesson, right? And in your case, every time you write a paragraph, that's you going through the motion of something that next time, maybe you'd rather go into a different direction. And failure sounds so negative, but giving up is the only true failure. Because then your experience is not something that you can put to use. It's the same now, In spring, we had a terrible split. On my end, Fnatic has not had a worse placing in 4 years. And that to me, in the beginning was very discouraging. But I need to see this failure. I need to look at it in a way where I need to make use of this failure to build towards what I believe will be my success. And whether you rewrite it 5 times and then it's still not good enough, at least 5 ways of how you wouldn't want to do it. And there's something good in that too. So now looking at spring, getting 3-0 by Schalke 04, terrible. Absolutely terrible if you just look at the title of spring as a book. But in terms of the lessons and the complex nature of the things that I can learn from spring is going to be a big part of my success. Some people are lucky and just succeed, but most of the time the story there is failing. Even someone like you watch The Last Dance, right, with Michael Jordan. He wasn't just instantly winning. Took some time, took some work, and then eventually, he figured it out, right? That takes time. You need to be patient with yourself. Don't punish yourself for doing something that isn't perfect. Because if you did everything perfect right away, well, what was the point? What would be the point of anything? There would be no beauty in winning LEC if it was easy. There would be no beauty in making music if you could just do it right away. There would be no beauty in this. It's the same, right? Imagine playing piano. Someone could tell you, why on earth do you want to play piano? You can just go on YouTube and then boom, piano. You can just search up some piano. You can have Moonlight Sonata and you can have the third movement, and that's going to be very difficult for you to learn. And you can just listen to it. So why would you ever on earth want to learn how to play piano? No, it's the motion of creation. It's the work that is put behind it. It's the journey. It's the journey. Because the final product, it's the same playing a guitar, I could listen to Jimi Hendrix. I could listen to Jimi Hendrix and just like, why on earth would I ever play guitar? But it's all about the journey. It's about the experiences that you catch along the way. It's about learning yourself. It's about perfecting a craft. But we all begin at a point in time where we suck. Everyone kind of sucks. And through your mistakes, you need to learn. But if we give up, then those lessons are for nothing. Floki. And the key thing is as well is growth is uncomfortable. It just is. I hope this helps you in some shape or form. Ducky writes, "Hello, Mr. Coach. As you are a person that knows many languages, can you give us some tips, ways to learn a new language? I'm interested in Russian and or Mandarin." So, what was the most helpful for me in terms of learning languages? I can give you the example of how I learned German. So Polish I learned at home. And that was, you learn the language and the communication styles that you're exposed to. I was playing World of Warcraft with a lot of Russians, and I think that's part of where a lot of my accent comes from, as silly as it sounds. I have a very strange mix of an accent because I've exposed myself to very, very different people throughout my growth years. And when it came to learning German, so I learned German in school for about 7 years, I believe. I'm just guessing, 7 years. 6 years. For 6 years of my life, I learned German in school, and that was piss useless. 6 years of learning German, I knew the basics. Ich bin Jakob, wie geht's? Ich wohne in Schweden. It was not useful at all. But when I was meeting my girlfriend's parents, so I was staying there for 1.5 months. 2 months maybe. Right after the World Championship, 2016, I went to my girlfriend's house. And what it came down to was, I needed to talk to her parents somehow. So her parents only speak Russian and German. In that moment, I needed to communicate with them. There was nothing else. I was forced to. And our mind works in a very curious way, is that when you need to communicate with someone, you figure out a way. You just do. You just need to give yourself a little push, because it can get very, very awkward. You point, you make gestures with your hands, you take ideas from other languages, and then eventually you figure out a way to communicate. Right? In that month, I learned more about German and my German skills than I did in 6 years in school, because I exposed myself to it. That's the key thing, exposure. If you're trying to learn Russian and Mandarin, expose yourself to the language. Change your client to a different language. Obviously, in the case of Russian and Mandarin, the alphabet is very different. Right? It's not the same as the alphabet that I'm used to, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. But expose yourself to the language. It was the same, before I flew out to Korea, I just made sure to watch as many Korean dramas as possible, because I needed to phonetically register Korean in my ears. In the beginning, I don't speak any language that is close to Korean, so my mind doesn't register as the separation or the words in Korean. It just didn't. I couldn't pick up any new words because phonetically it just didn't make sense in my ears. And I just had to expose myself, and then you read the subtitles, and then all of a sudden you pick up some words. You pick up some phrases. You notice this word is reoccurring. This is always the translation. And then you begin to build. Right? That exposure is important. Exposing yourself to a language. So ideally, I just don't understand how reading and listening to a language you don't know helps you learn. Well, it's just about exposing your ears to new sounds. It really goes a long way. But I think that confrontation, when you have to communicate with someone, it really, really goes a long way. my confrontation with Elena's parents, where I needed to talk German to communicate with them because I wanted to leave a good impression, that made my German skills just skyrocket. It really did. And ideally, if you want to learn a language, you just move to Russia if you want to learn. Russian. The easiest way to learn Mandarin is fucking move to China. It's the easiest way. Yeah, put yourself in a spot where you have to do it and have no other choice. Pretty much. That's my tip. But I am not a language teacher. I just tell you what works for me. Noba. I hope that's not a fucked up word. Hi, Mr. Cannon. Hey, Mr. Cannon is what he said. What's the best way to get new people into League? Some of my friends don't want to play League because of the toxicity and general perception, and some are put off by the complexity. What's the best way to get them to get through the tough part until it gets fun? Maybe don't. League is bad for beginners. Terrible for beginners. It's really, really bad for beginners. I'm not gonna lie. I sometimes I don't understand how. I don't understand how big, how League got as big as it is. It really makes no sense to me. I don't understand how new players. I don't know. How can the game have new players? It's like you queue up for the first game you ever play, and then there's like fucking 18 Smurfs, and it's like they're just stomping on you. It's like a fucking noob uninstall. It's like, I don't know, man. This is just maybe don't make them play. They don't want to figure out a game that you all like. It's not about manipulating your team into playing it, because maybe they just genuinely don't like it. TSM Dr. Fox, hey Yamato, how do you do it? Just do it. Lisandren, hey Yamato, do you have any advice or tips on how to be more self-motivated? I find I often know what I need to do to improve a life, lol, etc., but I often don't have energy and discipline to actually get the ball rolling and stick to it without an outside impetus. Well, for me, it's important to keep my motivations and goals very close to my sleeve. These are things that I want to remind myself on a daily basis. I do not want to ever forget about them. Not forget in the sense that, I just don't remember anymore. It's about keeping them close to heart and doing things with intent. So that helps me a lot, Have things that remind you of your goals and your motivations, whether it's pictures, whether it's just you writing it down on a daily basis. Like, I want to succeed, boom. Reminding yourself of that goal on a daily basis goes a long way. There's also a lot of things that give fuel for the soul, is what I call it. Fuel for the soul is, could be that song that really gets you hyped up, could be that speech that gets you in that right place, could be that movie or documentary that puts your mind in the right place. There's a lot of inspirational people out there that have created success out of pure discipline and motivation, and you can take energy from that. For me, a big one was The Last Dance. Watching The Last Dance, I just watch it and I just want to fucking go. Rocky 4. I remember watching that as a kid. It was winter time and I just ran out, and I'm just fucking carrying random logs. I'm like 10 years old. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm motivated. I was in that place. I was like, yeah, that fire, the fuel for the soul. My soul was burning. And that helps a lot, Finding those little nuggets of fuel really, really goes a long way. And I think something that can help is just making a schedule, you know? Making a schedule, journaling goes a long way too, because you keep yourself accountable, you know? And it's like I have something here called, this is a 10-year diary, okay? So this is a book that has 10 years worth of information in it. Not in it now, but it has a space for it. So the way it's designed, and I'm not going to open it because it's very private. The way it's designed is that, you know, you just have space for 5 sentences on each day. It's very simple. I just write it down. This is the day. I'm happy about the day. I'm happy about it. You know, very happy. There are no empty sites, and that also goes a long way. You know, journaling, keeping a schedule, finding fuel for motivation, and keeping your goals close to heart, I think goes a long way. G2 Pancake. Hello, Mr. Cannon. Any tips on staying on a specific diet? I've lost 4 or 5 kilos since I got on mine around 2 months ago. My goal is to lose 30 kilos, but I haven't been fully committing to it because I still want to enjoy what I eat. Well, I am not a nutritionist. I am not I can only share what works for me. So during Christmas, things get wild and I gain a couple of kilos. What I do in order to make sure, you know, that I don't censor what I eat is I just eat less frequently. That just does the wonder for me. I eat less frequently. At my peak, at one point, I weighed 115 kilos, and that was a disaster. You know, it got to the point where my thighs were touching each other as I was walking. And I was like, what the fuck? This is really, really, really not okay. It's just not okay. I'm a pretty tall guy, right? I'm a tall guy, so it takes a while for me to reach the point where, you know, it's alerting, you know, it's alarming. It takes some time. And what I do, like at that point, I just ate one meal a day. But that meal, I went hard on that meal. I made sure that meal I ate exactly what I wanted. I had my fair bit of vegetables. I love vegetables. Vegetables are fucking delicious. Love fucking carrots. Love fucking broccoli. You know, and I ate less. I used intermittent fasting and my stomach felt better than ever. You know, I just used intermittent fasting. And now I eat 2 meals a day and I'm happy. Just don't eat at fucked up hours, and I think that goes already a long way. Don't eat at fucked up hours. Another thing is, you know, your stomach and your taste. You know, the idea of an acquired taste. It works. I don't know how to scientifically describe it, but having acquired tastes. You know, if you eat sugar on a daily basis, your body's going to crave sugar on a daily basis. So you need to, like, detox yourself from garbage. You know? You just have to detox yourself from garbage. It's like, after some weeks, you're not going to have that craving anymore. Eventually, it's going to reach a point where it's going to even taste bad, you know? You just need to get over that hump. You just need to get over that, you know, that hump where you are gonna be craving everything. Detox is a really bad word, is it? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not a nutritionist, so maybe I'm the wrong person for this. I'm just sharing what I do, and I think just our mind functions in a way where we, you know, we have an acquired taste, and that's it. Yeah, I didn't think detox is a bad word. My man's confusing me in the chat. Okay, let's do 2 more. Do girl, hi Yamato, how do you recommend to choose a life and career path? I think you can only get the most out of yourself if you're truly committed to what you're doing. And to be truly committed to what you're doing, you need to have passion. And to have passion, you need to know what you love. And, you know, for me, I was very lucky. I loved video games. I love video games. I love fucking computer games. I love fucking everything in regards to PC. I just love playing games. I love competing, and I found what I wanted to do very early on. In the beginning, I thought the only way to work with games was to create games. So in the beginning, I had a dream to make games. And maybe at some point in my life, I'm going to make games too. But I actively chased what I love. You know, there's this YouTuber. He's a blacksmith. Okay, he's a blacksmith, and he just makes weapons. Just fucking makes weapons. And people watch him. And he loves blacksmithing. He loves blacksmithing. He loves making weapons. And through that passion and through pouring himself into something that he loves, that is infectious, you know? That is truly infectious. It's inspirational. It's nice to watch. You know, it's intriguing for me. I remember like Whippo is watching this channel. Gugu Cooking or something. Go Cooking. I don't know what it is. But there's this guy who makes steaks with really random ingredients. He like marinates a steak in Fanta, as an example. And this guy it's clear that this guy loves what he's doing. You know, he loves what he's doing, and he made his own thing into it, and just watching his passion in itself is so infectious, you know? And sometimes, you know, that leap is very difficult to make. Very difficult to make that leap. It's not the same for everyone. I was very lucky with my opportunity. Working in your day-to-day, knowing that you are saving up for something will go a long way, I think. You know, whether you're passionate about something, you love something, let's say you love Warhammer, you want to open up a shop at some point in time, you just want to work with Warhammer, that's what you love. You love Warhammer. And maybe you have to work that job that you don't like, but at least, you know, you have a goal in mind. You have a goal in mind, and then you need to choose that time when the right time is for you to make that leap. And sometimes, for some people, that leap, maybe you never find an opportunity. You know, all of us are in different circumstances. You know, some people need to take care of family, and they are not capable of taking such risks, and that's there's a lot of you know, pride in that too. But I think if you have a choice, you know, because you say, how do you again choose a life and career path? I think follow what you love. Because the best version of yourself is when you are truly working with something that you are passionate and infatuated with. Because it's noticeable. You see right away when someone loves what they do. And the curious thing about it as well is when you follow what you love, along the way you find different things. You really, really find different things. Exactly like Cyan Reaper is writing in the chat. When you reach your goal, did you get that feeling that it wasn't what you imagined it to be? Yes. Because keep in mind, first I wanted to work and create video games. And then I started playing, I played video games, I competed, I loved playing tournaments. And I wanted to sustain myself by elo boosting. So I was elo boosting and playing tournaments. That's how I sustained myself. And then eventually LEC was announced. Not announced, but I heard some rumblings about it. I was like, holy shit. This is my way of getting a salary. Shaboom. Gorgeous. Very excited about it. So, with that in mind, I wanted to find ways to continue being a pro player. I just wanted to be a pro player. That's all I did. And then I went into casting. I played LCS for the first time. Played in spring. And then, my team sucked. And afterwards, I created Heimerdinger's Colossi. I played with Mithy, Freeze, and some other players. And then eventually I went into casting. I casted on Swedish national television, which I had no clue what was happening, but I followed what I loved, which was League of Legends at the time, and still. I casted League of Legends, and then eventually, fucking Mr. Alice, Mithy, Nuktak, they're like, yo, you should fucking coach. I'm like, okay, let's try it. And in my mind, I'm chasing what I love, because I thought if I get to live in a gaming house, I coach the players during the day, and then, fuck it. I just, play solo queue. And back when the team that I coached first, I was better than these players that I was coaching. Because I could have pulled the Jesses. And the fact is, I didn't. Because I fell in love with coaching. I had no idea I was going to be there, but I followed what I love. Usually following what you love, they will be surrounded by other things you will fall in love with, Didn't you play with Björk? Yes, I did. I played with Björkson. Played with Björkson, played with Sven, played with Jensen. Played with Svenskeren for a day. For a day I played with Svenskeren. Who else? Tabs. I played with Tabs, Nuktak, so forth. Let's do one more. John Deere Abuser. Hello, boss. What would you advise someone who's been broken by solo queue and is ranked depressed? Take a break. League of Legends is highly, highly addictive. Very, very addictive. This game is filled with dopamine hits. Fucking every time you get a minion, it's like you won a fucking jackpot at a casino, It's just fucking every time you kill a minion, casino. Boom. And then support. Support was boring because there was no casino element. So they added a little casino element. Use your Targon's Brace, you get a little money. Money. Generating gold. Why do you think fucking Senna is so fun to play? Every time you shoot someone, money. It's a fucking dopamine hit. You fucking pick up some souls. Gold. Why does everything in the game give gold? The fuck is a dopamine hit. Boom. You kill a mushroom. Gold. Ward. Gold. Minions. Gold. You pick up a soul. Gold. Kill a ward. Gold. Gold. Dragon. 25 gold. Why the fuck not? 25 gold. Boom. Dopamine. Fucking kill a dragon. Woo. Fucking noise. Dopamine hit. Boom. Fucking when the lady fucking shouts, pentakill. Boom. Fucking dopamine hit. Double kill. An ally has been slain. Depression. Last hit Nexus, 50 gold. Inhibitor, 50 gold. Tower, gold. Raptor, gold. Killing enemies, gold. Everything, gold. Spell Thief's Edge. Harass the enemy, gold. Disconnected, depression. Inhibitor does not give gold? Really? I thought it gave 50 gold. Did it change that? Is that why HOTS failed, you think? I'm pretty sure it gives gold. Yeah, it gives 50 gold. Fucking You're trying to ruin my analogy here? So my point is, this game can be very, very addictive. Very, very addictive. And sometimes, we go back, we just go back. It's like, oh, I played the whole day, I lost Elo, and I wasted my entire day. And then you just, in that moment in time, we realize that this game is not doing anything good for us. Doesn't do anything good for us. And then we come back the next day, expecting that something will be different today. Today will be a win streak. Today we're gonna climb. And then it's like 1 year passes and you've just been hovering around the same elo, right? And sometimes people don't know when to take a break. If you take a break, you just need to, once again, you need to detox yourself, you just fucking get away from the game. It's the same. First win of the day, that's a dangerous one. They want you to come back every day. They want you to come back every day. First win of the day, that's a dangerous one. Come back. I remember those JRPGs that had like, first day login bonus, second day in a row login bonus, third day login bonus, and then you see at the bottom 14 login day bonus. It's a big ass fucking chest because they want you to have a little taste and then they know you're gonna stick around. First win of the day. Oh, you lost that first game. I need first win of the day, bro. Daily missions. Boom. You like League of Legends. Each time you level up, noise. It's the same. Fucking World of Warcraft. What a fucking clever design. Clever design, World of Warcraft. When you level up, what a fucking sound. That sound in itself. Ooh. It makes me feel good, that sound, when you level up. Every time you loot someone, they put a little bit of money. You get some copper. Get some copper just for that copper sound. See your money go into your bag. Yeah, it's just they need to keep bringing you back in, right? They need to keep you in the game. They want to keep you in the game. And there's a lot of things, there's a lot of social engineering that goes into a lot of the aspects of every application that you use, every fucking game that you play, and every fucking, Twitter and Facebook and every social media app that you use. There's a lot of elements that are trying to make you stay. Getting a notification. Why do you think, like, the maximum amount of notification you can have on Twitter is 20. 20 plus. It's like 20 plus, and then it's like, wow. So you just want to click it. Oh, what's that? 20 plus? What's that? 20 plus. Okay. Then you go back. You get another notification. Oh, what is it? And you press notification. It's like, yeah, someone liked your tweet. Wow, you don't fucking give a shit, but you press it anyway. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But with that being said, I recommend that you take a break, brother. This game can be dangerous. Very dangerous. Who's the best all-time Swedish top laner? I don't think anyone is close to my pedigree. Okay. I believe I missed a couple. I'm sorry. I missed a couple of questions before I jumped into John Deere Abuser. But he did the thing where he tagged me, so it took my attention. But with that being said, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.